Hello, my dear student. Welcome back to week 12 MySQL session number 2. In this session, we will learn more about select statement and we will explore how to use functions. So in this session, you will learn to use functions. Now you know what is functions, right? In Chinese, it's fangfa. So there are many functions which you can use in your queries, and I'm going to teach you what are these functions. So in today's session, in this second session, we will only discuss about this part. Next week, we will talk about sort and group. So let's focus on this part first. Using functions to customize the result set, MySQL provides various inbuilt functions that can be used to customize the result. That means you can change the result set by using these functions. Now, what are these functions? There are many functions such as string function, date function, arithmetic functions, information function, conversion. Okay, you can use this function to convert and aggregate function. Also, you can write down one question from here. What are various inbuilt functions supported by MySQL? Okay, so this is a question. You can write down the answer for this. There are many inbuilt functions such as string function, date function, arithmetic, information, conversion, and aggregate function. Let's move on and let's talk more about string function. MySQL provides string functions to manipulate string literals. Okay, you can modify or you can manipulate the constants by using these functions. What are these functions? You can see some of the functions in this table like ASCII. Okay, and this is the example. So ASCII is a function and it will give you the ASCII value. You know ASCII, right? So it will give you the ASCII value of the character. So let me show you how to use it in MySQL. So let's switch. So you will say select. Okay, ASCII is a function. You can see it's coming. Inside this, you can just put A. So what it will do, it's a function. I'm using function name, open the bracket, close the bracket, and then you have to put parameter, any parameter. So select, execute. So the ASCII value of A is 65, and if you change to B, it will give you the ASCII value of B, 66, and so on. I hope you have understood this. Put semicolon. There are more functions you can try. There is another function called left. Okay, so select. You can use this function left, open and close the bracket. The first parameter is a string. Let's put Akash, comma 3. That means from the left side of this text, I only want to display 3 characters. So select and execute. You will see only 3 characters from the left side. Okay, so this is how you use. Let's put semicolon. Next function is reverse. So let's put here select reverse function. Okay, what do you want to reverse? Let's reverse my name and let's see what will be the reverse of my name, Akash. So my reverse name of Akash is Hasaka. So this is a reverse function. You need to remember this function. Okay, next function is lower. So you can just try this. Select lower and you can give some string, you maybe let's say Shanghai. Okay, put semicolon here. Select. So it will be displayed in the lower case. Okay. Same way there is something called select upper, I think. Yeah. Let's say Shanghai. So it will be displayed in uppercase. Lower will display in the lower case. Select and execute lowercase. Upper will display in the uppercase. Okay, I hope you are understanding this part. Like this one, left, there is also something called right. Right, and from the right side I want 2 characters. So select and execute. So you can see from right I am displaying only 2 characters from the right. So 1, 2, sh. Understood? These are some functions, and these are all string functions. Why? Because we are working on string. I hope you are understanding this. Let's see how to use it in the query. So select, there is another function called concat. Okay, concat function. Let me show you this. Select concat and then hello, comma, Akash. So what it will do, it will concat the 2 strings. It will put the 2 strings together. Hello Akash, concat, join. Do you understand? Now we can use it in a query. Let's do that. Select, what is that? Concat. I want to concat first name and the last name from the customer table. Okay, so select concat and then we want first name. You know there is a first name in this column, right? Then put here you can just like colon. Okay, and then I want to concat with last name, so put last name here. Okay, you can also use as. You want to display this as what? You want to display this as customer name. So customer name. Okay, from which table? From customer table. So select this and execute. What you will see, look at that, what I'm doing. I'm just displaying I'm displaying the first name and the let me show you this here. Customer. Okay, so I'm displaying first name and last name by using this concat function because I'm joining them, and I'm also joining this string between first name and the last name. You can see all of them have this. And what is the column name? Customer name. Can you see that? Customer name here. From which table? From customer table. Am I clear with this? Right. Let's move on. Let's move on to the next part. So this is the output of this. Here they are just using a space, kunga, but I'm using colon. That's fine. You can use any character. If you want to display star, 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 star between them, no problem. You can just put that and execute. Look at that. So Mary Smith, we are getting star in the middle between first name and last name. I hope you are understanding this, right? Let's move on to the next topic. The next topic is pattern. To provide the extended regular expression based pattern matching. So if you want to do some search based on pattern, then you can use an operator called regexp. It is called regexp. Okay, you need to remember this operator regexp. Now there are 4 special character which you have to remember. If you use star, p star, then what does that mean? This means it will it will return the record with 0p. That means there is no p in the record, or any number of p. Okay, so this is one thing. Second, plus, it will match to 1, oh sorry, 0, 1 or any number of occurrences. That means at least in the record or in the result there must be at least 1 p. Here if there is no p is okay, it will be displayed in the output. But in this case, if there is no p or 0p, it will not display in the output. If you use p question mark, then it will display the record with 0p. That means there is no p is okay. It will come in the output, or one occurrence of the p character. Okay. If you use this, it matches the strings that begins with the p character. So it will display all the records which starts with p. Okay. Now let's take some example. Look at this example. Select star from actor where first name, and then I'm using resexp and a. What do you mean by this? This means all my first name must start with a. Okay, that begins with p character here. So here it should begin with a character. Let's do this. Let's try this. I'm going to delete this now. So select star from which table? From actor table where first name, okay, first name resexp, then single quotes, and then you have to use this tilde a. That means I want to display all the information about actor whose first name starts with a. Okay, begins with a. So select and you will see all of them begins with a. Yes or no? That's right. If I put here b, so it will display all which starts with b. You can see b. Yeah, I hope you understood this operator. This is what it means. So if you use this with regex, it will match the string that begins with p character, or in this case with a character. Okay, now let's try something. Maybe let's try this one first. A plus. So here I'm going to say a plus. So what does that mean? P plus means match, at least one character has to be there in the word. So let me select and execute. So look at that, at least one p has to be there. Okay, this is what it means. So in every first name there will be at least one a. Can you see that? 1a, 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 and so on. Understood? Now if I put here star, that means there is no need, there is not necessary that the first name must have at least one a. No need. It can search for 0p. If there is no p or no a, it will be in the output. So select and execute. Do we have a in this name? No. And but still it is in my result. Why? Because of this symbol star. So it matches to 0 or any number of occurrences of the p character. I hope I'm clear with this part to you, and I hope you have understood. Let's move on to the next topic. So that's all about string function. We have finished the string function. Now we will talk more about date function. There are many date function. First function which you have to remember is cur date. You can try this. Cur date means current date. So you can say select cur date and select your query and execute. So today's current date is 6th May 2020. Okay, so this is cur date. This is how you use this function, and there are many other functions, date functions, which you have to learn and you have to remember them. Okay, look at this add date. So it will help you to add. Select add date 2008 8:24. This is the time, comma, interval 8:20 hours minute. So what this will do, it will returns 24. Now here it is 15, 25, 52, right? This is the time. So it will add 8 hours and 20 minutes later to this. I hope you are understanding, because it's add date. So it will add this time to this time and it will display 23, 45, 52. I hope you understood this part. Next is select date 2018. Okay, so what this function will do, it will only select the date. It will not select the time. Okay, it will only select the date. It will not select the time, as you can see over here. You can try this. Select date. Okay, and then you can provide some date inside this. So let's do that. 2008-6-7 and then space 22, 55, 56. 22, 55, 26, right? 56. Okay, that's fine. So this is my date, and if I put such date, this date has the date and the time both, and I'm putting it inside date function. So what it will do, let's select and execute. It will display only date. Can you see that? And this column name is weird, right? I think we can use as what? Date. Let's try now. Yeah, that's perfect. So I changed the column name in my output. Okay, and it is displaying only date. It will not consider the time. This is the use of date function. I hope I'm clear with this part. Month. Month will display only month. 8. Month name. It will display the name of the month. In this it is July. Okay, you can try this by yourself. So select month name and you can put some date and it will give you the name of the month which you have put here, like it is July in this case. Okay, so that's all about date function. I hope it is easy for you to understand. Let's move on to the next topic, which is mathematical function. Math. So there are many mathematical functions like floor. Okay, floor function. What it will do, it returns 12. Okay, the largest integer which is less than or equal to this value. Largest integer which is it must be less than this or must be equal to this. Okay, so I can do it for you. So select floor 12.30. So it will select the largest integer which is less than 12.3 or equal to this. Okay, so it will display 12. Then you have learned about select sign of 90. So this is the sign of 90. There are many functions. Select cot. You have learned about sign and cot in mathematics, right? So I hope you know that. So I want to find out the cot of 3.5. Execute, and this is the cot value of that. There is also called pi. Select pi function. It will give you the pi value which is 3.141. Okay, next function is power. Okay, power 5 comma 2, that means 5 to the power of 2, which is 25. So select power 5 comma 2. So the result will be 25, and if you put it 5 to the power of 3 will give you 125. I hope you are understanding this. That's all about mathematical function. Now look at this example here. Select title. That is also called as round. Okay, yeah, let me show you this round function. So select round. Okay, and then I have 2.345. Okay, comma, I want to round to 1. So what will be the output? 2.3. So after decimal, after dot, how many numbers do you want? You can put it over here. So if I say 2, then it will display 2.34. Yeah, sorry, 35, because this 5 will change to, will increase one value over here, so it becomes 2.35. Okay, what will happen if I say 3.42, round to 2? So it will remain to 2.34. But if it is 5 or 5 or greater than 5, it will increase this one value, this one by one value. So you can see it becomes 2.35. That is the round function. Okay, now let's look at this query here. Select title rental rate from film. Let's do this query. Select title rental rate. Okay, from which table? From film table. So let's select and execute. So this is what. Now I want to round this up, okay, by 1. So we can use a round function. Let's do that. Round the rental rate up to 1. Okay, and you can say as rental rate, as rental rate. Am I clear with this part? Select and execute. So you can see it is round to 1 and it increments one value here. I hope I'm clear with this part for you, right? This is the output of this query. Let's move on to the next function. Next type of function is information function. Now this functions will give you some information about your MySQL, about the user of your SQL, about the database, and so on. And you have to remember this, by heart them. So first is current user. I want to find out who is the user of my MySQL. So you can use this function to know that. So let me do that. Select what is that? Current user, current underscore user, and select your query, execute. So the current user is root at localhost. Okay, so this is the current user. Next function is connection ID. So let's try that. Select connection underscore ID. So this will give me the connection ID. Select, execute. So the connection ID is 9. Next is database. Which database I am using? So select database. So that's the function. Select, execute. So I'm using Sakila database. So this will give me the name of the database I'm using. Version. Let's do that. Select version, open and close bracket. Select, execute. So I'm using MySQL version. Which version of MySQL you are using? I'm using 8.0.19. This is the version of MySQL I'm using right now. Okay, I hope you have understood this function. These functions are called as information functions. Why? Because this gives you some information about your MySQL. Let's move on. The next type of function is a cast function. Cast. Okay. It provides various cast functions that enables you to convert, okay, change the value of one data type into another data type. Okay, so you can see there are 3 cast function, and this is your homework. What are various types of cast functions? Answer is there are 3 types. 3. What are these 3? First is binary, second is cast, and the third is convert. Cast and convert. Okay, as you can see over here. Now let's talk each of them one by one. Binary function. This function allows you to compare the fields byte by byte. So it will compare byte by byte and provide case sensitive search result. Okay, so like for example, I have a text African egg. So it will help you to compare the field byte by byte. Every byte will be compared with the title. You can just try this. Select star from film. Let's do this. So select star from film, where title is equal to, then you have to use binary function where title is equal to binary, and then the text which you want to search for, African egg. African egg. So select your query and execute. So that's the result. You can see it's coming over here. Okay, so I hope this is clear to you. Next is, it performs case sensitive search for the film title African egg. So it will be case sensitive. What if I put here small can? Let's try this now. And there is no record. Okay, there is no record. Binary means it will search byte by byte. So my title is all capital, but I'm using the small can, so there is no record. Okay, but what if I don't use binary? Then it is fine. It will not look for the case sensitive. Delete this, execute, and you will see the result. Yes, it's coming here. Okay, so if you don't use binary, it doesn't matter whether you are using capital letter or small letter, it doesn't matter. But if you use binary function, then it will strictly look for case sensitive. That is, whether it is capital letter or small letter, it will look for that. And in this case, it will display no records. You can see there is no record. So if I modify this back to capital letter can, and if I run my query, I will see the result. Yes, it's coming now. Okay, I hope you have understood what is the use of binary. Next topic is cast function. Okay, now what this function will do, take it takes the value of one type of value, and it will produce another value of another type. So it is basically used to change the type of the value from one type to another type. What is the syntax? It's very simple. You just have to use cast expression as type. Example, you can see this example here. So select payment ID, customer ID, and then I want to change this payment date as date. Okay, now if you remember, let me show you again. Select, okay, select, what was that? Yes, date. Select date, and then I'm going to put some date here, 2020, then 12 and 10, put space here, and then I'm going to give some time, colon 45 colon 12. Now what this date function will do, tell me? It will return only date. It will not return the time, right? So select, and it returns only date for me. And I'm going to okay, let me do something more for you. Select, what are these? Payment ID, customer ID. Okay, payment ID, payment ID comma customer ID. Okay, from which table? From payment table. So there is a payment table. Let me show you this. Here you can see this payment table, and these are the columns. Okay, so select payment ID, customer ID from payment. Anything else I want to display? Yeah, payment date. I also want to display the payment date. Okay, great. Now I'm going to select and execute. Look at that. This is my result of this query. So payment ID okay, customer ID and payment date. But the payment date has the date and time both. But I don't want to display this time. I only want to display the date. So what I can do is I can use a function called cast. So cast, open this bracket, what whom you want to cast, whom you want to change. I want to change this column. Put as, use the keyword as what you want to cast, as date I want to cast. Okay. So select your query and execute. And look at that. There is no time here anymore. But there is a problem with this column name. So I need to change that column name as, and you can say here payment date. Select your query, execute, and you will see there is a change in the column name and there is no time. So what this cast is doing, it is converting your column only to date. Okay, so it will delete or it will not take the time from this column. Okay, I'm clear with this part, right? You need to practice and you need to remember this. Let's move on to the next part. The next part or the next function is convert function. The convert function is similar to cast function. I repeat, convert function is similar to cast function. This also takes one value and it converts into another type, one type of a value and converts into another type value. Let me show you the example. The same example, but here we don't have to use as. We just have to put comma. Let me show you what I'm telling you. Okay, I'm using cast, and if I put here comma and if I run, it's an error. Okay, it is giving me error. It is not working fine. That's wrong. You can see this error, right? So if I'm using cast, I have to use the word as. Execute, and I get my result fine, right? Now if you use convert here, let me show you that. Convert, and you keep as word and run the query, it will give you error. There is error here. Understood? Now when you use convert, here you have to put comma. This is a rule. Select and execute, and you will see your result here is okay, perfect. Am I clear with this part, right? So I repeat, when you are using cast, you have to use like this is what you want to change, and then as and into what you want to change. But when you are using convert, you have to put comma. You don't have to use the word as over here. Next type of function is aggregate function. Okay, aggregate function is used to summarize. Okay, summary function. So for example, there is a function called count. Okay, I want to find out how many customers do I have. So let me write that. Select star from customer table. Customer. Okay, so select your query, execute. So these are all my customer, and I want to find out how many customers are there. So how can I do that? I need to use one aggregate function called count, and you have to say count star. So this will give you total number of customers. There are 599 customers in this table. Okay, and I can show you this again. So select star from customer, and you can scroll down. 599 customers are there. Okay, but this is not the correct way to check. So if you want to check total number of customer, you have to use aggregate function called count. So this will give you one value, count 59. Understood? Okay, and there are many aggregate functions such as average, okay, sum, min, minimum value, maximum value. So these are all different types of aggregate function. I can show you some examples over here, like rental rate. Okay, let me do this for you. Select rental rate, okay, from which table? Film table. Rental rate from film table. Select and execute. Now these are all rental rate, but I want to find out average. I repeat, average of this rental rate. So what I have to do, I have to use aggregate function called avg. Avg function, and I have to put my rental rental rate. Okay, rental rate. So what it will do now, it will give me the average of the rental rate. That is only one value. This is the average, 2.98. Understood? If I want to find out what is the minimum of my rental rate, I can use a function called minimum value of rental rate, which is 0.99. And I want to find out maximum value of rental rate. So I can use a function called max, max, select, execute, and 4.99 is the maximum. I hope you have understood how to use max, how to use min. You can also use sum. I want to display the sum of all the rental rate, and I can use the function sum, select and execute. So this is the total rental rate of all the films, 2980. Okay, so this is sum function. You need to remember these function: avg function, sum function, min function, max function, count function. These are all belongs to aggregate function. That's all your assignment time for this. You are a database developer of this Rocks luxurious hotel. The details of the bookings are stored in the booking table. The management want to view the details of all the reservation for March 2011. That means he needs to find out the book details based on the based on the date, which have been booking status code 166. In addition, the results should display the number of days for which the hotel rooms were booked under a column heading number of days. So you need to display this as a column name. Okay, column name, temporary column name should be number of days. So please do this and show me the output in the group, okay, for this assignment. That's all over here. Next class we will talk the next topic, which is sorting and grouping data. Okay, so I hope you have understood the second session. In the second session, what we have learned many different types of functions, such as string function, date function, mathematical functions. Okay, and then we discussed aggregate functions, cast function, convert function, and binary functions. So these are the various functions which we have discussed in this session. My dear student, you need to do a lot of practice. The more you will practice, the better you will remember all these functions. So do a lot of practice of all these functions, type and execute, because it is easy but it is difficult to remember, and you will remember only when you practice. So that's all for this session. See you next week. Goodbye.